Alien8UK.
Welcome back. You found it again. The UFO Files. Broadcasting round the clock on Alien8UK. Red-eye listeners, insomniacs, sky watchers, van drivers on the long haul. You're tuned to the only station that stares back at the dark with you. 24 hours, we circle the same old questions. Lights over the north, shadows over the south. Phone lines open, headphones on, blinds half drawn. I got case notes spread like takeaway menus. Highlighters bleeding through until sunrise. Coordinates scribbled on coffee stained napkins from a truck stop somewhere near the East Coast. We don't do jump scares here, we do the long stare out the window at 3:33 a.m. when the estate's asleep and the sky feels too crowded. You call him with that voice, half whisper, half dare. First time chatter, long time watcher, and the hairs rise on every neck in frequency range. Maybe it's satellites, maybe it's stories we tell, so we're not alone in these flickering terraces and rented rooms. Either way, keep your dial right here. This is the UFO Files. Alien8UK. All night, every night, every night, every night, every night, every night. Welcome back.
Signal acquisition initiated. Cross-referencing anomaly archives. Pattern recognition complete. Aether 8 online. Proceed.
Hello, welcome to Alien8UK UFO Files with myself, Abby, and the wonderful John Hanson. And I managed to spell his name right this week. Woohoo! Woohoo! Doesn't happen often. Oh, terrible. Do apologise.
How are you, John? How are you doing? It's been a few weeks.
No, I'm fine. There seem to be one or two glitches with some of the images coming across. Your end, I don't know, but no, I'm fine. Everything okay there?
All good.
Oh, good here.
Okay, smashing. Yeah.
So, where are we going to go in the archives this week?
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, the biggest problem is that there's too much information. And in a way, I was thinking to myself that we start off in this with, you know, a lot of us interested in the UFO subject, are obviously curious, and we will research, we will purchase books, we will go on social media, and it's an unfortunate aspect to all of this, as I've learned. But over the years, you can learn too much, because in as much that, you know, with these huge archives we've got, there is so much information there, the human brain struggles to take it all on. But I've just selected some, well, I won't say bits and pieces, but for argument's sake, one of the nicest guys I met over the years was Omar Fowler. Did you ever meet him?
Never met him. Yeah.
Well, he's an ex-military guy. He was with Flying Saucer Review, and he was dedicated to researching into flying triangles. And can you see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's what he did, and we could talk for hours on some of the flying triangles that he saw and others saw over West Yorkshire, going back to 1956, and he produced a magazine called OVNI.
Yeah.
I seem to have frozen again. Can you,
No, you're
photos
okay.
frozen.
You're all right. You're all right, John.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay. Right. So he produced a lot of these OVNI magazines, tons of them. Sadly, as I say, he passed away some years ago. I've no idea what happened to all his material. But as far as I'm concerned, myself, our archives are getting chocker, but we'll never turn anything away. But anyway, what we'll do, we'll look at a case from 1959. It was on the 13th of July. And what happened here was at 5:30 a.m. on the 13th of July, a lady, Mrs. Frederick Morland, she was a nursing aide at Lister Hospital in Old Renwick Road, Blenheim, New Zealand. She was on her way to milk the family cows when she noticed a green glow in the sky. She later told police and a reporter from the Nelson Evening Mail, there was no moon. I wondered what it was. I was halfway across the paddock when two large green things like eyes or big lamps appeared above me and then descended towards the ground. The surrounding area was bathed in green light. I thought I shouldn't be here and made a dive to the other side of the paddock and waited. A saucer-shaped glow with two indented lights in the bottom descended. The air became very warm. Two rows of jets around the middle shot out an orange flame. They appeared to be revolving in opposite directions. The object was about 20 to 30 feet in diameter. The jet stopped and a light came on in the dome. And this is something I've come across so many times. She said the jet stopped and the light came on in the dome or glass roof, which was greyish metal in colour. I could see two men in it dressed in fairly close-fitting suits of shiny material. They were wearing opaque helmets, preventing me from seeing their faces. One of the men stood up and put two hands in front of him as if leaning downwards. Then he sat down, and after a minute or two, the jet started up. The object began to tilt before shooting up vertically into the sky, making a soft, high-pitched sound. Mrs. Morland noticed what smelled like pepper in the air. She completed the milking. That shows commitment, doesn't it?
It does.
Make sure the cows are all right. And then she went into the house to wake up her husband, who was a civilian employee at the Woodburn station of the Royal Australian Air Force. He telephoned the police who came to see her, followed by a visit from a representative RAF and a reporter. And that, in essence, that is something that if one witnessed in one's life, just in its singularity, it is something that would change your life forever. And that is just one particular incident out of thousands that we have, probably involving, who knows if it's the same, if you like, do we call them alien beings? What do we call them? People aren't mistaken. But going slightly off that, I've got here that, of course, I was looking at this paperwork here, and we sent some books to Prime Minister David Cameron a few years back, and he replied, thank you. He had himself, while in office, publicly to be open and entirely frank about what the government knows about close encounters.
Yeah.
What happened to that? Nothing. President Ronald Reagan, the same. President Jimmy Carter. If I become president, I will make every piece of information this country has about sightings available.
Your sound's gone.
Yeah, we've lost your sound, John.
John, you vanished. But you're
We've
not
lost
vanished.
your sound.
No audio. This happened
Well,
before.
Oh, yeah, you're back. You're back.
Oh, good.
All good.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now? That's strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not touching it. Anyway, so I said that
Men in Black.
Men in Black, yeah. Anyway, and then George Bush actually said he'd get right onto the UFO issue and tell the people what is going on. And even Hillary Clinton in 2016, she's got a long political history advocating for children and families, gender equality and health care reform. In 2016, during a bid to secure the Democratic nomination for president, I wish she had the courage during a radio interview to tell the listeners that she wanted to review files about UFOs and the mysterious Area 51 site in Nevada. I would like to go into those files and hopefully make as much of that public as possible. If there's nothing there, let's tell people there's nothing there. And of course,
we hear the same story over and over and over again, don't we? Even the current president has said he's going to release some files. But
this is the problem, and then we've got here, I made a note, in January 25, there was much speculation following the swearing in of President Donald Trump. He promised to declassify the full top secret files on the murder of President. Now, just think about that, on the murder of President John Fitzgerald Kennedy.
Yeah.
And then, but that didn't stop the United Kingdom newspapers that in their banner-grabbing front page headlines, quote, Trump to reveal Kennedy's secrets amid frenzy over link to assassination, accompanied by a photo above JFK, the X-Files, with a thumbs-up little green man. I mean,
why do they have to go Scooby-Doo, man? No offense, Scooby, but why do they have to go Scooby-Doo?
Did you think that? I was waiting for your little apology. No.
Yeah, no offense, Scooby, but yeah.
This is the thing. So this is the thing with what John's just said. Each of these presidents each leader keeps saying, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I think when they then get in power, it's like, you're not doing anything. Forget that. You just stick to the politics and the running and the spending and the budget and all that kind of stuff. You don't get involved with all this backdoor stuff that no one needs to know about.
They don't have clearance.
It's got to be. No.
Apparently there's 35 degrees of clearance above the president or any prime minister or anyone who's sitting temporarily in elected power for plausible deniability. I mean, because at the end of the day, the least they're in there for 4 years, 8 years, if they're two-term.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in this country, it's whenever they decided to kick out the prime minister and bring in a new one, as and when. I mean, we've had a few over the past few years.
But then we have countries like royal families. We've got royal families that are there forever. It's the same bloodline. So,
Prince Philip was very interested in John's work. So,
Exactly. So that's what I mean. So you've got the royal side to it, but then presidents that are elected, prime ministers that are elected, they're only going to, I believe they're only going to get told so much. So they're not allowed. You don't know what we want them to know. No.
Well, it's like Obama said, apparently they exist, but he's never seen one.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. But at the end of the day, common sense dictates that if you were to spend enough time researching into this, as I have over the last 32 years, the evidence gained from interviewing people have had some frightening encounters involving an interaction from, we would label them UFOs, we would label the perceived occupants of the craft as aliens, but they weren't asked.
No.
It just happened. And the bizarre thing about all of this is that some people can be traumatized for the rest of life. Others will get over that trauma and then find that they've got newfound that they're able to do some marvelous things in life that they didn't do before. But what is obvious is the fact that this has been happening for a long time, and we cannot stop them. And that is what the government would say to you: we cannot stop it happening. And as I say,
as far as the MOD is concerned, they turned around and said, you know, yeah, they pose no threat to the UK airspace, and that was about as disclosure-y as they were going to get.
Well, absolutely. The MOD, I mean, I've got a gentleman that I knew from some years ago. Let's hope he might listen to the podcast. Robin Cole. He lived in Cheltenham. And do you remember Robin at all? Robin Cole.
Yeah.
Well, he lives not too far away from GCHQ, and this is his GCHQ
file.
File. Well, not their file, otherwise we'll all get locked up.
That's why you keep getting muted, John.
Yeah, I know this. I'm sorry. Anyway, in this particular file, he interviewed a number of people with regard to an incident that happened in the Wash. This is Skegness. Most ufologists know about this. It was the 5th of October 1996, and what happened is that Mr. Leyland of Skegness Police telephoned Yarmouth to report an object witnessed over the sea by numerous police officers, blah, blah, blah. And the officers described it like a boomerang-shaped object. Anyway, to cut that long story short, the interesting thing is that as soon as the story hit the press, the MOD were telling everybody it was Venus, weather phenomena, and Boston Stumper Church Tower. And as Robin researched into it, he was able to establish that it was all disinformation, all disinformation. And the problem is, according to the MOD, that they, as I say, that their attitude was that these things don't. Funny enough, in front of me, I've got a letter from Nick Pope to Robin saying, "Thank you for your letter, in which you asked whether during my tour of duty there had been any liaison between Secretariat Air Staff 2A and GCHQ on matters related to UFOs. As you may know, it has been a long-standing policy of successive governments not to comment on the operations of intelligence and security agencies. I intend to maintain that policy." And at the end of the day, they just denied. They just said that it was that people had got mixed up, and they were. I don't understand why, because the evidence, not from that, but from many other sightings around the area, indicates, of course, that this is a genuine phenomenon. But how do we get past this? I don't know what your thoughts are. How do we get past this and get governments just to admit liability, or admit that this is something that's been going on for probably thousands of years, and there's nothing we can do it? And then in the next paragraph, next bit of information I've got on the Mail on Sunday, July the 2nd, 1995, ET lives, says man from the ministry. And this is UFO convert Nick Pope. And there's quite a bit of information about himself. And he says, to the horror of his employees, he was then 29 years of age, he's become a convert. I came into the job as an open-minded skeptic, and I came out as a believer. But I really aren't interested in skeptics and believer. All I'm interested in is the fact that this phenomena has been going on for a long time. It's been endangering lives. It's been causing trauma to so many people, and it is a living, valid thing. And yet, if we don't keep the records, which is what my main job is to keep records. If we don't keep them, we will lose it, because it's because I was thinking to myself today that if I had if I had the money, if I had the finances and the staff, I could prove that on any given day over the last 30 to 40 years, there was UFO sighting, and some of those sightings involved abductions, if you want to use that word.
Yeah.
So that's the frightening part about it. And at the end of the day, the government don't want us to. They don't want us to know, do they?
No, they don't. I mean, it would disrupt religion. It would disrupt finances. I mean, you know, people's belief systems would fall apart in a millisecond. Basically, it would create anarchy. So they're never going to tell us the truth. And plus the fact that, you know, there's all that nice juicy tech that they can reverse engineer and make money off. So that's not going to enter the public sector.
And this trust goes out the window. They wouldn't trust anyone. They wouldn't trust the military. They wouldn't trust local councils, the police, the government. It goes straight across the board.
Yeah.
And with the money, obviously, like going into like council tax and all that, people would just start refusing to spend it because, like, we're spending money. You're not even telling us the truth. What's the point?
Yeah.
It'll go down. I think it'll go down every route possible for it to turn the wrong way.
Yeah. Don't just deny it, or just keep stonewalling or talking swamp gas like Venus reflecting off a cabbage patch.
Oh,
I know it's the trouble is, like myself, and I also was thinking about you guys today, thinking that you're doing a great job, because I tend to think of people like yourself building small building blocks, trying to build something. And that is effectively what we've done. I mean, I've got here UFO Toronto 1978, and it's a magazine about ufologists. And we've got far left Kenneth Arnold being interviewed, Dr. Leo Sprinkle, Jim Moseley, astronauts, tons of photographs of people, Ground Saucer Watch, and guys that have laboured long and hard, and most of them are no longer alive. They've all passed away. So
we wouldn't know about these cases if it wasn't for people like you, John, who's archiving them. They just disappear. They just literally just end up being memory hold, because there'd be no proof that they happened. There'd be no accounts. There'd be no documentation. There'd be nothing.
It becomes myth, folklore, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you're so right, but it's I mean, we've got here that Mrs. Philpott. She was somebody that took over Nick Pope's job, I think. And she was asked whether she was asked, and she replied that, as you may know, it has been a long-standing policy of successive governments not to comment on the operations of the intelligence security agencies.
Which is fair enough, but UFOs don't really come into that. I mean, you know, have we got a James Bond on the go? You know, is it 00 heaven?
00. Oh, that's
Could be anything. Double UFO.
Sorry.
Double UFO.
Well, UAPs and God knows what. But I mean, Kenneth Arnold really was the first guy to set all this off. There were people before 1947 that had seen some amazing things in our skies. But Kenneth Arnold, of course, the press called them flying saucers, but they were flying saucers because the way they skipped across, like a pebble skipping across a lake in that movement, and that's what happened. But I was looking at this cutting here from July the 31st, Daily Star, 1989, and I don't know, have you heard of the rock star Roger Taylor?
Yes.
Right, I checked, he's still going strong. Well, he sparked a full-scale UFO alert. He hosted a bizarre 40th birthday party, and he's the millionaire Queen drummer. And he staged, in 1989, he staged an amazing £100,000 light display above his house. Crikey, I wish I could get him to fund me a few quid.
I know, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, but apparently the bright revolving circles and darting flashes alarmed hundreds of sky watchers in southern England. And it says here that cops sped to Taylor's house after scores of anxious callers feared that a Martian invasion was underway. That's rubbish. And it took place at Roger and, well, that's his girlfriend, Debbie Lang, star of the Cadbury's Flame Crowd. And other stars included Freddie Mercury, Brian May, Elaine Page, and Mel Smith. So, yeah, I just think,
that
wow.
Must have been quite a do.
Well, that's right. I wish I could know somebody that was interested really in spending money, but still, yeah. And right, let me just, we've got one here from.
I hope they sang Flash when the police turned up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, I've got one here, which was the 11th of November 1960, and this was residents living in Gloucester and Bristol contacted the police after what they like a rocket training sparks. Now, I apologize to everybody out there. I have to read it because I couldn't possibly remember millions of. It's just impossible.
It's impossible.
That's right. Anyway, one of the witnesses was a lad called Morris Eastop. Now, I tracked him down years ago. He was 14, cycling home, and he said the road was flooded with light, illuminating the landscape. It frightened the life out of me. I saw a ball of light shooting across the sky. Now, that, to be fair, that could be anything, couldn't it? A ball of light shooting across the sky.
Yeah.
But Shirley's checked my archives, and she said, if nothing else, shows the reader that UFOs were being reported around the UK, and that while activity was apparently low for this period, which it was, it built up significantly over the next few years, culminating in a huge rise in 67. So if you think that 1960 is half a page, so we've got like January 1960 spinning object over Suffolk, blah, 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 fan-shaped UFO over US Air Force Base in England, 3 objects seen somewhere else, objects forming an X-ray saucer-shaped object, blah, 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 RAF jet fighter scramble, and a lot of them. So we've got half a page, and roughly there's probably about 60 or 70 for 1960. But then it increases in 1963. That was a tremendous year for activity.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you've got all these catalogues and you can see patterns forming across the years. Do you think that some years are more active than others, and it seems to follow almost like a cyclical trend with these UFO encounters and sightings?
Well, absolutely, yeah, because it built up years ago when I first got involved in this. I appreciated that 67 and 77 were, as ufologists call them, wave years, which I don't like. Wave. For me, actually, a wave of UFO activity is an increase in activity, but moving over the countryside as if it's in a wave rather than a wave. And the 67 and 77, I thought, were dominant in sightings, but then I realised that really that after about 1963-64, activity was more or less constant, but certainly it built up 77, 79, 80, 83, tailed off a bit there, but the 90s were heavy with it.
Yeah, you said 96, 97 was quite a
96, 97, I know.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you got the Welsh Triangle. That was the 21st of November 1996. That was heavy. And, right, there's a report here from a guy I've never heard of him called Armin Victorian. And he said that...
Very posh name.
No, he put in Britain Air Staff 2A, and I don't know why. I'm not setting this out because of Nick Pope, and I appreciate it. Sadly, Nick has passed away. Yeah. It's just the way the papers are coming forward. He's put in Britain, air stepped to a desk in the Ministry of Defence manned by junior civil servants such as Nick Pope, Jay Palmer, Owen Hartop, Kerry Philpott, and Ralph Noyes. Now I know you, Ralph. Okay, so on October the 23rd, 1989, I contacted this particular MOD section. After the preliminary conversation, I was asked if I was prepared to sell my investigation report to them, and later in the course of conversation, when I suggested sharing information, citing the national security aspects, I was asked if I was prepared to sign a security agreement concerning this issue. I was further asked to prepare a proposal and submit to them. When I inquired about some landing reports, I was asked to specify the date, and then those several individuals in the UK who have witnessed serious UFO cases have been visited by government officials. The MOD has repeatedly denied the existence of such officials. And then he relates UFO folklore, calls them the Men in Black.
Well, but they can't admit one without the other, so they can't cop to it, can they, really? It's like, well, we haven't really got people that we come round and tell you, please don't talk about that, because there is no phenomena. So it's kind of like they're not going to cop to it, are they?
Well, that's right, they're not. But I just don't know. I'm at a stage in my life, I suppose, with the archives and the books that I'm doing, and I'm at loss to understand why governments really actually don't admit this. I mean, it's that is baffling to me.
Yeah,
and
I mean, it's especially in
but
this day and age. I mean, we're all playing yearly bingo on what weird, crazy crap can go down in 1 year. I mean, we've been doing that since COVID, let's face it. So, like, we've had disclosure on it every year, and we haven't quite hit the mark yet. It's not been a full bingo card on that one.
That's right.
Every 2 weeks, it's out. It's coming in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, so summer apparently, but we're still yet to see that as well.
Right.
No, it's not been too bad.
I remember you telling me about a case, because I know you said earlier that some people have found these things, these experiences, especially some of them highly traumatic, and they've struggled with it. But when you were came on my show last year, and we were talking about people that have actually suffered physical injuries and health issues from actually getting too close to one of these crafts, especially when they've landed. And there was a couple, I think they were driving on the M5, and they saw something land in a field, and there was physical evidence, and he was actually left with burns and health issues because of it.
Oh, he did, yes. And in actual fact, he still is going through it. And but the interesting part about that is I was able to show at least 5 other cases where somebody driving down the M5 towards Devon had also witnessed a UFO sighting of a similar object, although those witnesses didn't say they'd been abducted. Yeah. My feeling is that a lot of things happen to people when they witness UFO activity, and sometimes it's just a sight. Sometimes they see something bizarre, they report it, it goes nowhere. Others have these terrible experiences, allegations of abduction. Maybe everybody really experiences some really horrendous stuff, but maybe they forget them. I don't know. I'm just saying, why would the occupants of these alien craft, if you like, or this alien intelligence, why would they segregate certain couple or a family rather than not bothering with another? Or I just don't know.
I think it's got to be something to do with the genetics.
Yes,
it's got to be something that they can pick up on.
Yeah,
whether it's the organs, the blood, well, anything.
Radiation levels and stuff like that. They seem to be very interested in, especially with the animal mutilations and stuff.
But you've got underlying issues as well. So,
yeah.
And I know of a guy that claims he was being abducted. I'm not saying he wasn't, but he ended up having polycystic kidneys.
Mm.
So when he found out, they stopped visiting him, and then he started feeling ill. And when he went to the doctors, they did tests. He found out he had that. So he thinks that's why they stopped coming visiting and taking him, because he ended up with this illness.
Well, he could have done something about it. I mean, they've got better health technology than we've got.
He was under the impression that they caused it.
Oh.
And this guy lives literally on the doorstep of Rendlesham.
Yeah. I'm just trying to take this a stage further and thinking that the three of us are trying to decipher and trying to sort out what is happening. But in a way, we know what's happening. But who are these? I hate to use the word aliens because they may be as indigenous to this planet as we are. But this alien intelligence then that orchestrates these things and moves around the sky mostly in the same sort of shaped objects. Why, as you just said about the DNA, where do we take that farther then? The DNA and the energy, and it's, I don't know, maybe that's where it gets frightening. Maybe that's something to do with energies, and the world is full of energies. And
this is it.
Dare I say,
low frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also like John was saying about if they're indigenous. The term Steve Mary uses a lot is NHI, non-human intelligence.
Yeah.
Which is basically what they are. Because we're classed as humans, so or alternate humans. It's
interterrestrial, if they're here. They're just not us. Or are they? Or are we an offshoot of them?
Well,
you know, were we genetically modified like the Sumerians suggest?
Can I just throw something else into
You've just hit the nail on the head. Well, are they us?
Are they us?
Well, this is a thing.
Are they
us? Do you guys know of Karen Holton? So I interviewed her on Saturday.
I've heard of her, Karen Holton.
So she was talking about physically and mentally going on board these different craft. Now, these craft were organic. The craft was actually living beings. But this was the other thing. So she went physically, and it was like, she's coming back on in about 4 weeks. So she can, I'm probably going to get this mixed up. And it was a bit of a struggle to get there.
No, we're still here, John.
Anyway, so it's a struggle to get there in physical form. So they took her consciousness. She went up and they put it into a small grey the first time, which messed her up psychologically. It's like she could see her hands and her feet, and she looked in the mirror and she was saying the black film that they have, the black eyes, that's a film because their eyes are very sensitive to light, because different places have different light frequencies. Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
So when she went the next time, they cloned another version of her. That's all I'm going to tell you. If you want to go back and listen to Saturday's show, or come back on the 22nd of May.
Yeah,
I want to know what James Carter knows, because that's like the whole premise for Avatar.
That's absolutely
the same as an Avatar.
Yeah.
But this is the other thing she's saying. They don't, because you're in these bodies for so long, you don't have a digestive system. So you don't need to go to the bathroom. You don't need to eat. You don't need to drink. You just need to have the ability to breathe. So I was like, so it sounds like a really stupid question, but in my head it was like the proper out of the box question. Do these small greys, these avatar bodies have a shelf life.
Yeah.
Well, everyone
Yeah.
perceives they're a clone race, aren't they?
Yeah. So when they are seen, is it a non-human intelligence that's operating it, or is it us that are astral projecting, meeting up with these aliens and then putting your conscious into that so they can be in physical form in their dimension?
Yeah.
Kind of
So
like
you've got that. I just thought I'd throw that into the world.
that is
That's
interesting.
it all for
So
everyone.
if you're interdimensional and you can't cross over physically to our dimension, you've created this clone,
create a puppet,
avatars,
a body,
basically.
a doll, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that is certainly very interesting. Unfortunately, we do still live in an age where it invariably during conversation, if somebody asks me what I do and I tell them, you've either got somebody that will say, oh, that's interesting, or really, surely things like that don't exist.
Yeah.
And when I first started this, I certainly had no interest in UFOs because they didn't exist as far as I was concerned. And then I got past that barrier, and then I thought, no, they don't have occupants. And I got past that barrier, and then I thought, surely they're not there to inflict intentional injuries on people. And then I got past that, and then, like you were just saying there, Andy, it's food for thought, isn't it? But then how far does that go? Maybe in a nutshell, that's what the governments don't want us to know about. Except admittedly UFOs exist, and admittedly the occupants or the alien intelligence, call it whatever you want, do orchestrate an abduction process on us, and this and that, and but then you know, broadening that out, and what we've been talking about, that has always been my concern or worry, that is in all probability something that we would not perhaps be able to deal with.
No.
No.
Well, this is the other thing.
It would create fear. So much fear.
This was the biggest thing. What Karen said on Saturday that got me thinking was the size of this ship. This what she called the mothership. She didn't call it the mothership, but it was the big ship. The mother.
The big daddy of ships.
Yeah. You know, there was millions of different beings living on there. It was that big. Then at the end, just as it was finishing, she went, I didn't even get to tell you about the mothership, that it was organic. It was actually a living organism. And I'm like, you can't do that as we're ending.
Yeah, I mean, what a thing to end on. But I mean, we know ourselves with these ball of light UFOs, UAPs, whatever you want to call them. They seem to have a consciousness of their own, a sentience to them, because the way they react with you. So that's not really a big stretch that you have some sort of organic technology.
Because that's what she was saying. It's like not just one consciousness in the ship. It's like 3 or 4 doing all different things to different parts. So one would be controlling how its propulsion. One would control the lights. One would, you know what I mean? Each different one would control different things.
Here's a crazy thing that people, I've heard a few things said as a theory that they're us, but they're just us from the future.
Or the past. Well,
that's exactly what I had in my mind, and that is something that is daunting, because if they're us, I'm not sure if I could deal with that, but that in all probability is what
the other thing. Sorry, John. What if they're us now? Or at a different frequency of us, where they have the ability to move their consciousness into inanimate objects. It doesn't even have to be biological or organic. It could be in this phone stand or I didn't need that. Remote control.
What did you do then?
Don't know. It's a remote control for my lights. I just threw it on the floor behind me.
He's got a Portuguese.
I thought something had happened.
What's not to say they can't put their consciousness into that. And when we get, like you said, poltergeist activity and that moves about, maybe that's a consciousness either going into it or coming out because it creates energy.
Well, I've mentioned before, quite a few people contact me and ask me about Rendlesham, and I say, look, if you go down, you've been down to Rendlesham yourself, haven't you? Or you're planning?
Yeah, planning to.
I've been a few times. I need to go back this year. I've not been this year yet.
Yes, and if the co-host doesn't come along, she's quitting.
Okay, but it's spending time in the forest at night, which is eerie.
Yeah. Love it. Absolutely love it.
But it's experiencing those apports of stones,
yes,
which I've experienced. And I talked to someone out there about an apport of stone, and you think I'm off my trolley. But I've seen it, and I've been with Brenda Butler and experienced it.
Yeah.
And other people have experienced it, and I know from the evidence. I know I've mentioned before. Apologise to the listeners or viewers. That I've had those stones checked, and they are brand new stones. It does not make sense, but that is happened. And
unless you've got a volcano that we're not aware of at Rendlesham, that's impossible.
Well, that's right.
Not found one yet.
Sorry, you're not found a volcano?
No, not yet.
No, I mean physically that would be impossible without a volcano.
Yeah. Unless it's hidden behind some trees, you never know. I actually did a podcast for somebody else on. Well, I didn't. I just ended up started talking about Rendlesham.
Yeah.
The first time I went, and all the different things that I encountered on that first visit. All the other times that I've been put together don't add up to that one day.
No.
That's how just crazy it was.
Wiltshire, same for me.
Didn't freak me out. It's like, oh my God, what's next? It was like, come on, bring me some more. And it was it is a fascinating place. I spent many years there, and of course I filmed that object over the forest in 2000, which was identical to the object. In fact, I'll try and put you in touch with a couple that they were the couple that worked with Vincent Keane, and also name's gone. Somebody else in England. What was his name? The Ovni man. Ed's gone here, but anyway, they were interested in flying triangles, and they went to Sizewell B Power Station. I think it's about 2 years later, and Omar Fowler, that was the guy, and they set up the cameras and they recorded some amazing stuff, and it was identical to what I'd taken over at Rendlesham Forest 2 years previously. So I'll try and get a hold of them and maybe see if they can come on.
That would be brilliant. And if you can track down that footage as well, we'd love to see it.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Well, we've got a few different people coming on over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
If you want me to tell you.
Yeah.
I've spoken to these people before. We've got Jim Goodall coming on from Skunkworks over in the US.
Right.
Richard Monarch from down in Devon, down near your end.
Yes. Oh, Richard Monarch, blimey, yeah. I've been in touch with him,
Yeah. We've got the Reverend Michael Carter from Ancient Aliens. He's coming on in a few weeks.
Right. The Ancient Aliens. All I can say about the Ancient Aliens Oh my God. As you know, I did a talk for them in London about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
My main source of complaints would be, and I've come across this many times, is that I was, and I think Paul Sinclair did a talk there with them at the same time. So did
was this at Blackpool?
a couple of other. No. You're thinking about the Lapis thing. No, this was down in London.
Right. Okay.
Paul did one up his neck of the woods, and somebody else did one. I think to Malcolm Robinson. But I have to say, because honesty is the best policy. If somebody wants to interview me about 12 different subjects, for argument's sake, abductions, Rendlesham Forest, I am supposed to answer them quickly and as simple as I can. In other words, they don't want a long answer. Now, no disrespect, and I feel entitled to say this. What the hell was the point of it? What come on, what's the point? Talking to you guys.
This is what I thought. This is what I thought. But this guy who's coming on, he's an abductee, he's an experiencer. So they interviewed him for Ancient Aliens to tell his story. So he's been on a couple of the shows.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
So he's not part of the production. He's an actual like guest interviewee. So it's a little bit, but it's a lot different. So
I mean that's fair enough. I withdraw my allegation then. Okay.
No. I get where you're coming from.
No, that's fair enough. It's just, but they weren't the only ones. I've had film crews come round and they've said, look, we've got 6 questions to put to you, but we just, all they want is just some, I won't say a silly answer, but a short answer when you're dealing with some,
just what, 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, they just want vox pops, basically short and snappy, something they can get into the byline and do a get it on.
Absolutely,
yeah.
And of course, this is Reg Presley. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah,
on top of the crops.
Aliens are all around, says chart star Reg, and Reg was a smashing bloke. I never met him personally. I spoke to him a few times.
Yeah.
And he was, he's had some experiences. But talking about experiences, I must start working on the next proximity book, which is relates to experiences. But unfortunately, at the moment, and I'm not the only one, people aren't really buying books anymore. So that's why I think I need you to convert them, Andy, to audios, because you're very good at talking.
Oh.
We can do one each. We can do female and male. I tell you, David from Down the Rabbit Hole, he's smooth.
Yeah, he likes to talk.
Yeah,
I've got to be careful how I say this, like, because we're live. But you said you could do the female bits, and he could do the male bits.
I could read the female. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's something we could really do. Getting converted to audio. But there's so much to do all the time that
I know the perfect person to do that. George Mitrovic. He's in Australia. He's got 1 billion books out, and he's done his own. I'm sure he said he's done his own audio for him.
Yeah.
He'll be like, Andy, why the hell have you said that?
But no, David. I mean, David's got a smooth voice, hasn't he?
Yeah.
From Down the Rabbit Hole, and David don't know.
Paranormal Paul Anthony.
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Late Night Love with Paranormal Paul, definitely.
Wayne Seaton, he does voiceovers.
He does.
He's only
of course,
Colchester.
There's enough people in the field that we can help you out, John, you know?
We'll do what? We'll just do one each.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's smashing. What I'm going to do then, as soon as this new website is up and running, you'll be able to look. I'll send you all the information, and what I can probably do is send you a stick with every PDF on it for your own, not to be sent off anywhere else,
Yeah,
obviously.
Of course, yeah.
So you can, I'd like you to learn. There's a hell of a lot there, but I'd also hopefully like to meet up with you soon when we get back, because I know that you've had some spectacular things happen to you, Andy, and you have the right contacts, so we can get more people on board to tell about their experiences. And the great thing is, and the great thing is, I'm sorry to be a pain, but I've never made the money out of it, but I've enjoyed doing it, and that is the main thing. Really have. Yeah.
And we've got tell you how we've got coming on.
The passion of it.
Sorry. We've got Gary Heseltine coming back on. It's been a while since he's been on. That's with May.
With what's going on, obviously, in the news at the minute, all these scientists that have either disappeared or passed away, what are your thoughts on this, John? Have you seen this trend in the past?
Well, there was a book called The Marconi Murders, where a number of people that worked for Marconi had some very mysterious accidents or committed suicide or murders. It's something that for me is thin ice. You've got to be a bit careful with these things. I don't know, I've seen this coming upon the social media, but I would like to know a lot more about that before I can make any comments. I really
apparently
would.
The FBI is going to look into it, because everyone's been raising the subject. Apparently it's going to be looked into.
But this is the thing. What I don't get with this. So all this started because somebody brought it up in a press conference at the White House. So I looked into this. So this is why it became mainstream media. Until then, it was like,
social media speculation, basically.
We just don't say anything. So now all these people that are vanishing are all working for government agencies or directly with the government.
Or NASA.
So now,
links to NASA.
With that thing that you sent me earlier today, it's looking like it's not people from Earth that are causing these vanishing acts. It's the ETs, the NHIs that are causing all this stuff to happen. They're having weird and wonderful encounters going on. And then within however long, I don't know, days, months, weeks, whatever, so they end up now not being here.
Well, over the years,
you sent earlier now.
Well, over the years, though, I keep coming across. I talked about Robin Cole. I met him a few times in Cheltenham. I used to live in Cheltenham, and he then went to live in Devon somewhere. And I appreciate that he may have passed away, he may have moved abroad, but suddenly nothing. And I really would like to talk to him. But he's not the only one. Quite a few researchers. I'd like to know what happened to Dan Goring, that used to write Earthlink. I was very friendly with him years ago. He was a friend of Margaret Fry's. I met him down in Bexley Heath, Kent, when I was researching into the 1955, July the 17th, close encounter when the thing landed in the road. And nothing. I mean, it's just nothing. You try the social media, you try Facebook, nothing. And so many others. And of course, I know I mentioned about Howard Hughes before, but Howard's, he passed away in November 2024. And he did say, in the latest book, I put a farewell to him. And he's put, at the end of the day, in the absence of revelation or disclosure, there is only belief. Either you believe there is something out there or you don't. And the process of making the decision is assisted by evidence. Perhaps it's something you've seen or something you've been told. It's unlikely, but it might be something you read in a tabloid newspaper. Maybe you've read a book on the subject. Maybe you think you've been abducted by the Greys. Evidence is the key to belief or dismissal. And he has praised me. He says it's the best series of books he's ever read, and he's never seen research so thorough. And anyway, he said, are the claimed craft theirs or ours? Do governments know more than they tell us? Is there a big truth? This book will help you to come to a view. And then he says, he addresses himself, the boy who loved the invaders and went on to be a broadcaster and journalist is impressed. He's a famous guy, and he passed away, and there's nothing on, nothing at all. And he had parents, and his grandma saw a UFO in Liverpool, so he's from the Liverpool area. Nothing, and it's just, I find this bizarre, really. I do. I just hope that you won't be asking where I am in a few weeks.
Hopefully getting a nice tan, and then coming back right back on the UFO
You'll be
files.
back on air before you know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get on with my books, but don't tell Shirley that. She's in the other. Hello, Shirley.
Is she listening?
Oh, she can hear me.
Taking tabs.
Taking notes, yeah.
I'm in trouble now.
But I want to get to Rendlesham in I said this month, but it just weren't happening because I've been off work for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and the weather's been a bit hit and miss.
Yeah, so I'm thinking May.
Yeah. May, June, July.
Yeah, June.
Well, May or when? Sorry, Abby. May or when? Did you say July?
May, June, or July. So, like in the summery months where it's
The
a little bit.
Well, that would be nice to meet up, and I'll see if I can get Brenda to. Yeah.
Oh, that would be amazing.
It is amazing, yeah, and yeah, that would be really good. And I could do. I'll bring the Rendlesham files with me.
Oh, that would be brilliant. That would be
middle
brilliant.
of June, because I've got a 4-day weekend.
Yeah.
In the middle of June, so I don't have to rush back.
June would be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you got a sleeping bag?
I've got everything. I've got a portable tent. I've got a portable toilet. I've got a privacy tent. I've got the lot. I love camping.
So we're camping in the woods, guys. If we come back or not, that's anyone's guess.
Well, you know, no, I'd love to meet. I'd love to meet you both in the woods.
It'd be brilliant.
Well, here's a question for you, John. We've got a couple of questions, but I'm going to play a video and let me know what would you do this?
Would I do it?
Opportunity of your own free will. Would you board a UFO, not knowing the destination of the craft? Whatever your answer is, please leave it in the comments section of this video, and maybe we could use them in a future show on the UFO Files. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.
So if you got the opportunity to go on a craft, they didn't tell you where you was going, but you was going to come back. I didn't want to put loads of different detail in the video. It's too much.
Yeah.
If you could go on a craft and they bring you back after however long, would you go?
Well, I'm not sure that I've already been there.
I like that answer.
These are the answers.
Because of what happened to me when I filmed an object from my house in 1994 and didn't even know about it until the next night.
Yeah.
I must dig the film out because it's it just shows an object hovering outside the window of my bedroom. Some people would say, well, you know what you should do. I'm not going to go in that direction, but it happened.
Memories. It can be. You can be with regression. The brain fills in the gap.
Its own emotions.
But you don't often tell that story, John. I must admit, I've only ever heard it once from you, and that was That's right. That's right. I keep thinking I must dig out the DVD that it's on, so I put it from the camera onto there. But it's
if that's okay.
It's what? Sorry.
If you don't mind, if you talk about it next time you come on.
Yeah, I will. I'll see what I can dig out. Yeah, because it's just ridiculous. Because people used to say to me, "Have you ever seen a UFO?" No, I've not seen a UFO. I mean, that's. But then just talking about it seems a bit embarrassing, you know, because that's how it is when
I know what you mean.
You can't. It's common sense and rationality goes out the window. I know what I saw, I know what I filmed, and I never thought. And then I got back into bed, and the next night I thought, "Where's that blinking camera of mine?" And then I found
that's
the camera.
what's part of the memory, because you didn't know where your camcorder was.
Yeah.
Everything that happened in that moment was moved.
And you guys are going to have to wait till next time. I know the story, but I ain't saying anything. I'm going to leave it to John till next time.
I can fall out with people, you know.
Well, it is on my show, so.
Seriously, I do hope to see the archives in the near future as well.
Oh God, yeah, definitely, most
100%,
definitely, yeah, 100%.
And get you put up for the night anyway.
Oh, that would be amazing. I'll just sleep in the archives and just read all night. That'll be me.
I'll sleep in the garden.
Where Shirley and I going to sleep? We're going to sleep. We'll have to sleep with Percy then.
Yeah.
Do you know who Percy is, Abby?
Is he a penguin, an alien, or some form of cat?
Pheasant.
Oh, Percy the pheasant. I like pheasants.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll send you a photograph of him.
I think you have, yeah, when you were outside on the decking.
Talking about Percy then, Shirley. Yeah.
Right. We've got
we do hope to see you. Yeah.
It would be brilliant to see you, John. It'd be brilliant to meet you in person after speak. I mean, because me and you have been in contact for over a year now. So, because I interviewed you around about this time last year. So, yeah, it'll be brilliant to meet up and come to the archives.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great, because then you could see for yourself, and maybe you could you could film whatever you want, and from there, anything. And I would look forward to anything to do with Warminster or anything. Yeah.
Getting us down there is not the issue, John. It will be getting rid of us that will be the problem.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
That's when you have to call the bailiffs in.
The men in black. Come and get rid of them. They've been here too long.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
So we've got two questions. First one's from Big Jim, and he says, "How many species of ET alien have visited Earth?" What's your thought on that?
How many species of ET aliens? Well, all I can say is that I've come across 9 or 10 different species according to the witnesses. But are we talking about perception here? Are we talking about essentially one type of alien intelligence that has the propensity to make you see maybe what you think you're seeing? I know it sounds crazy stuff.
No,
exactly
Steve.
What you mean?
Steve Miro was touching on that last week.
Yeah, that's what. And then you mentioned about DNAs and people's characters and people's feelings and thoughts and beliefs, and maybe that whatever it is taps into them. But what we do know is that irrespective of what alien it is or what alien does, we do know that people are left with some, on occasion, some good medical evidence. And you can't deny that at all. So they're not making it up. We do know they're not making it up. So that's the thing that proves to me that they are real.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. And next question is from Shelley. And Shelley is saying, question, Andy, does John have any thoughts on 2 yellow books?
Yellow books.
Anything about 2 yellow books?
Well, I have now, but I don't know what I'm not sure on what yellow books.
I'm guessing she means if you ever come across like 2 yellow books that didn't have, or didn't have any relevance at the time.
I'm sorry, you've lost me. Abby?
I have no clue. I have no clue. Shelley, can you elaborate for us on that one? We're lost on that. The only yellow books I know are the yellow pages, and they don't
That's
exist
what I
anymore.
thought.
Yeah,
That's what Texas bought. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
oh, the yellow pages. Right.
I don't know. She said 2 yellow books. Shelley's in Canada. Not Canada, US.
US.
Someone else is in Canada, and I read that. I just said it. Ignore me. Don't know where anyone is.
Not any.
The yellow pages in the UK is pretty much like the white pages in the US, isn't it? Really?
Well, that's right. You know, it's unfortunately we now live in a time when, you know, you talk about, well, we're back to books and yellow books and yellow pages. Crikey, they're pretty old hat now, aren't they?
Yeah.
I was told there's one.
I was told there's one.
What, in the archives or?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Might be because she has like premonitions and that kind of stuff.
Where does Shelley live? Roughly, in what area?
She's in the US.
Oh, you said in the US, yeah.
Yeah, I'll find out what state or what county or.
Okay. Does she ever met Colonel Holt or one? Sorry?
As you say, could she have met Colonel Holt, or is it something like Project Blue Book, maybe?
Well, funny, yeah, Project Blue Book.
I know she knows Paul Anthony, Paranormal Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe you're going to come across 2 yellow books. I mean, it might make sense in the future. You just don't know, do you? Sometimes with precognition, you know, you just never know. You got some yellow sticky notes.
Yeah. There you go. I've got yellow, pink, and green. Does that count?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so her company.
Yeah.
Yellow
the only book I've got here is this one.
I've moved all mine. Like on the unit.
All right, thank you. I must send you. I'm send you another one. I'll send you the Magic of Wiltshire.
Oh, yeah. That would be amazing. Thank you, John. And I must sit down with you and talk about mine and Martin's experiences there.
Yeah, that would be great.
I'll get Martin on the line for that one.
We need to get Martin back on.
Yes, I will get in contact because we're going to go through some of the PFOG files. Yeah. He's looking for the video footage for me as we speak.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for putting up with me anyway.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on as always, John. And I hope you and Shirley have a lovely holiday. And I'm sending lots of warm, healing thoughts for Shirley's back.
Yes. So I've sent some painkillers. I've got a few left.
You're just going to have to give her the Cleopatra treatment on holiday, peeled grapes and fans while you're on that white sand.
Shirley?
Bathing in goat's milk.
Well, everything else.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking that when you come over to the archives, then for argument's sake, I don't know what year would attract you. I mean, I maybe your birth date or maybe any particular year that you're interested in. But
1973 and 1994 to 96.
73 and
1994 to 96.
Oh, you're putting me in the
94 to 96. Okay, well maybe next time we'll talk about 94, 96 then.
Yeah.
It's just I had a few UFO sightings around that time.
Oh God, yeah.
The most prolific sightings. Well, I actually saw one this year. We saw it a couple of weeks ago. I was talking to Andy about it on Friday. Triangular craft started off as 3 small I say small orbs of light, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and just turned into this triangular massive thing. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just picking a magazine out at random here, and in nearly all of these OVNI magazines, there is triangular craft. Triangular craft was so heavy back in the 1990s, and of course that has led to speculation that we're talking about top secret craft. I do not think that is the case at all. They've just been. I
think some stuff was reverse engineered based on what they were already seeing. To be honest with you,
Bruno.
Well, yeah. So many of them. So many.
Yeah.
A triangular. They just.
Oh, this wasn't a solid craft. These were 3 separate spheres of light that turned into a big triangle.
Well, that's what happens. That's what happened in the 70s. People told me about. Initially, we weren't talking about what we would call triangular craft because we didn't really know what a triangular craft was.
Yeah.
But what happened? People were seeing lights, and I said before when we chatted that predominantly most of the sightings will involve 3 lights, sometimes with a big light in the middle. But because those lights are in the sky at night, they will form a triangle with light forming a triangular shape. But in the day, you may not see that. You might just see the 3 lights. So you've got to ask yourself, and everybody out there really, is why 3? Why 3 lights? But 3 lights are predominant to thousands of sightings of 3 lights.
Yeah. But then it's like the 3 knocks. When you have paranormal encounters, you get the 3 taps.
3 taps.
Never had that.
3 scratches, 3 fingerprints.
3 wise men.
Well, I'm not sure about that.
Well, no.
not sure about being wise is what I meant.
No, but it's a conundrum, isn't it? And it's a source of great conversation and interest, and as Abby said before, we all 3 of us have got a passion about it, and I have, and it's just it fascinates me in all ways. Well, but we'll look forward to meeting it soon, I hope.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah. Well, we're not talking about it yet, but we're having a bit of a change up, aren't we? So it frees up our time to be able to do more and come out and do things. So
it's going to be similar to what I did last summer. So
so I was going to ask Andy a question.
Oh, go on.
Is Abby AI or real?
I
don't know. Real.
I met you first, John, so you know.
I keep getting told I'm AI, but I don't think I am.
No, you just got a grok addiction, darling.
No, I didn't go on it twice. I went twice last week. That's how bad I was. I did touch it.
But no, if I'm AI, I'm a bit glitchy, so they need to reprogram me.
That's what it is.
I'll get told off after this because I've been laughing too much. Won't I, Shirley?
Oh, no. You'll have a little bit of a laugh. You've got to have a little bit of a laugh. But yeah, we will definitely come and see the archive soon, and we're definitely looking forward to Rendlesham and just having you back on. But we wish you an amazing holiday, and we hope you see a USO whilst on the beach.
Yeah.
Right. And I've got a thought. I'm just thinking about something. I can't mention it to you two at this time, but just having a thought, that's all. Okay, so great. I'll look forward to seeing you.
We'll be with you, and hopefully that thought will manifest into an actual thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks very much. Okay.
All right. Enjoy your holiday, and we'll speak to you soon, John.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Bye. Bye. I'll let him go. Gives us time to wrap this up. So that's everything. So we've got a ton of guests coming on as we are hitting the first of, is it the first on Friday?
I think so.
Yeah, 1st of May, Friday. So that's when we give the 10 membership giveaway.
Oh, he's showing us something.
Oh, sorry. Let's bring you back on.
Bring him back on. There we go.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, you're all right.
Okay. This one is, I'm just looking at the back of here. This is January, February 2003. 3 white lights in triangular pattern were seen passing over Ilkeston on the night of 4th of October at 2002, 8:55 p.m. They maintained a uniform shape and there were no flashing navigation lights or any sounds. The lights were heading southeast. Well, we have thousands like that, absolutely thousands of them. And this, as I say, another one there, you've seen that one. So many. And the flying triangle UFOs, that one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'll have to send you the footage me and Martin filmed over Kit Hill. And it was a triangle. Well, it was something flew overhead, but there was a triangular UFO over Tavistock in the clouds, and I'll film it on a night scope. I'll have to send it you.
Yeah, no, that's smashing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Well, we'll let you go, John, because we're going to wrap this up now.
Okay.
So before Shirley puts you in the
doghouse.
Yeah.
Shirley, you won't put in the doghouse, would you, Shirley? Yes, she will.
Good woman.
Right. Enjoy your hours, and we'll speak to you soon, John.
I will. I'll catch up soon. Thank you for your time, anyway.
Yeah. Oh, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Always.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, so what we'll do, we'll talk about what we're going to be doing coming up to the summer months on Friday's show. We've got Paul Howard from Host for Ghosts coming on. He's going to talk about his lookalike moon UAP outside his house with the church and all that going on.
And I'll say shameless plug, he was on Lifting the Veil that didn't go out tonight on the radio because there was some sort of studio glitch, but it will be available on YouTube this Thursday.
Yeah, what she said. So we're back on, I'll be back Wednesday with Nicole, where we're going to do what's trending, what's been trending today and tomorrow on with UFOs and ETs and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to be the UFO Files reality check on the name. So going to be doing that Wednesday. And like I said, Paul Howard on Friday with his UFO encounter. I'll even get him to talk about that time slip because that's just an amazing story. Because that is something else entirely. Yeah.
We didn't get a chance to speak about that. We ran out of time, so I'm looking forward to hearing
every time I speak to him, we talk about that. Whether it's on air or when we meet up, so good. Right, so that's it for today. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Thank you, Og, for doing all the moderating. Thank you, subscribers and tier members. There are new levels of tier membership. There you go. And with the ultra dimensional, you do get a discount code of 25% on merchandise. But I will, if anyone is actually interested in that, I can send you that privately.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much everything. So you can go here. So it's alien8uk-shop.44.com. Just go on there. Oh, I've added some new items on there today. Another cap with just the alien on the front.
Yeah.
Some tumbler glasses with the logo going all the way around it. There's something else, but I can't remember.
We need an Alien8 UK pizza cutter for our UAP pizzas.
Oh, I've ordered some merch. I told you, didn't I?
You did?
Yes. So when that comes, it better be good quality or it's getting sent straight back. We'll find out.
You're returning your own merch. Always good.
I know. That's why I've got 3-4 shops going. And I've got TikTok shop as well now. So
yes, you are back on TikTok. Alien8 UK is back on TikTok, guys. So you can find us there.
Alien8.UK. I couldn't have Alien8 UK because I've already got that from last time. And once the name's made, it stays. So Alien8.UK. Same as email. That's it. So that's everything. I'll play a video, then I'll play us out, and then we'll see you Wednesday and Friday, same time. Have a wonderful 2 days. Take care, everyone. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Alien. UK merch just landed. Level up your vibe tonight. Hit the YouTube channel now. Step into the unknown in style. Trip from another world. Yeah, the signal's coming through.
Signal acquisition initiated. Cross-referencing anomaly archives. Pattern recognition complete. Aether 8 online. Proceed.
Welcome back. You found it again. The UFO Files. Broadcasting round the clock on Alien8 UK. Red-eye listeners, insomniacs, sky watchers, van drivers on the long haul. You're tuned to the only station that stares back at the dark with you.
24 hours, we circle the same old questions. Lights over the north, shadows over the south. Phone lines open, headphones on, blinds half drawn. I got case notes spread like takeaway menus. Highlighters bleeding through until sunrise. Coordinates scribbled on coffee stained napkins from a truck stop somewhere near the East Coast. We don't do jump scares here, we do the long stare out the window at 3:33 AM when the estate's asleep and the sky feels too crowded. You call him with that voice, half whisper, half dare. First time chatter, long time watcher, and the hairs rise on every neck in frequency range. Maybe it's satellites, maybe it's stories we tell, so we're not alone in these flickering terraces and rented rooms. Either way, keep your dial right here. This is the UFO Files. Alien8 UK. All night, every night. Welcome back.
Alien8 UK.